Impeachment. We have some impeachment news. Jamie Raskin, a congressperson over from the United States House of Representatives, who is also one of the impeachment managers, had sent a letter today over to Donald Trump and his impeachment defense team saying, we want you to come in during the trial and testify. We're actually kind of demanding it. Let's take a look at what this looks like. This was posted over on Twitter by Mike DeBonnet, and this is what the formal document looks like as I underline here, drafted today, February 4th, going over to President Donald Trump, care of Bruce Castor and David Scone, his attorneys. They sent it via email. This was from the House Judiciary Committee, House Committee on the Rules, Oversight and Reform. It looks like all of these different subcommittees. That's what Jamie Raskin is a part of. He's from Maryland, it looks like. As you are aware, they're saying, Mr. President Trump, the House has impeached you. The trial is scheduled for Tuesday, February 9th. That's next week. Get ready for the impeachment party. 2 days ago, you filed an answer in which you denied any factual allegations or many factual allegations set forth in the article of impeachment. And we read through that letter. I think that was on Tuesday. You have thus attempted to put critical facts at issue, notwithstanding the clear and overwhelming evidence of your constitutional offense. In light of your disputing these factual allegations, I write to invite you to provide testimony under oath, either before or during the Senate impeachment trial concerning your conduct. We would propose you provide your testimony, including, of course, he says, of course, including cross-examination, which means, this is how, testimony works in criminal court or in really any court of law. Somebody testifies, you get to cross-examine them. And you've seen this in the movies. So, let's say you are, you're a defense attorney and you are calling your own witness to the stand. Maybe we're talking about an assault case. The allegation is our client punched somebody in the face. Okay. Happens all the time. We bring him in. We say, he didn't actually do that, Your Honor. Opening argument. He didn't do it. Here, the evidence will show, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He takes the stand. Our client takes the stand. We get to do a direct examination of him. So we get to go and say, hey, sir, Mr. So-and-so, tell us what happened that night. And they go through the big, laundry list of what happened. Okay. So what happened next? All right. What happened next? And you didn't ever make contact with that person, right? And nope, I didn't. How do we know that? Okay, great. The prosecutor then can come back and cross-examine them. And when they cross-examine them, now it's adversarial, right? When I'm asking the questions, it's mostly friendly. Like, we know where we're going with this. We know what evidence is coming out. We know the point that we're trying to make. The prosecutor can come back and say, okay, well, you just said this. Isn't it also true that you did that, though? You said you were here at this location, but really you were not there and you were over here. And isn't it true that so-and-so, and isn't it also true, right? And they get to kind of beat them up. It's called cross-examination. It's pretty fun if you're sort of flipping the script, right? Oftentimes what happens is the prosecutor calls the police onto the stand. The defense attorney gets to go and sort of, kind of tear into him a little bit. And so what they're talking about here, Raskin really wants to do that with Donald Trump. They really want to bring him in. They want him to testify. They want to see what he has to say. As we all know, Donald Trump is highly provocative. He doesn't like to really kind of stick to the facts of a lot of things. He likes to, sort of talk in big terms. I think it's one of the reasons he was elected. He was, talking a big change in America. And now they want to get him to do that same stuff under oath in a mock court of law, so that they can hold him accountable to his own statements. And they want the ability to cross-examine him so that they can sort of, shred those apart. And he's not going to do that. Here is what they're asking for. They say they want it to happen on Monday, February 8th, or Thursday, February 11th. We'd be pleased to arrange such testimony at a mutually convenient time and place. President Gerald Ford and Bill Clinton both provided testimony while in office, and the Supreme Court held just last year that you were not immune from legal process while serving as the president. So there's no doubt that you can testify in these proceedings. Indeed, whereas a sitting president might raise concerns about distraction from their official duties, that concern is obviously inapplicable here because he's not in office. But they're impeaching him anyways, even though he's not in office. So they're acknowledging, which is good, that he's not in office. So he's got plenty of time, which is an interesting perspective. We anticipate your availability to testify. If you decline this invitation, we reserve any and all rights, including the right to establish at trial that your refusal to testify supports a strong adverse inference regarding your actions and inaction on January 6th. I request you respond to this letter no later than Friday. Signed by Jamie Raskin, the lead impeachment manager. So they wanted a response by Friday, February 5th. They got one today. Congressman Jamie Raskin, this comes over from David Scone. he's Trump's lawyer, says, "Dear Congressman Raskin, we are in receipt of your latest public relations stunt. As you certainly know, there is no such thing as a negative inference in this unconstitutional proceeding. Your letter only confirms what is known to everyone. You cannot prove your allegations against the 45th president of the United States, who is now a private citizen. The use of our Constitution to bring a purported impeachment proceeding is much too serious to try to play these games. Sincerely, Bruce Castor." Right? So he's not going to testify. That is a foregone conclusion. That is not going to happen. They're also not even going to talk about the election claims. This is from Trump's impeachment lawyer. They're saying that they're not going to bring up claims about election fraud. We spent a lot of time talking about this. I don't want to spend too much time on this story. I explained. I thought that would be a catastrophic mistake if you're President Trump and you're trying to win. His attorney told KYW News Radio that there are plenty of questions about how the election was conducted throughout the country, but that's for a different forum. I don't believe it's important to litigate the Senate trial because you don't need it, I think, which is accurate. I don't know where people got the notion that this was some sort of a litmus test to get to defend the president, because as you saw from the document I filed, which had to be approved by the president personally, there isn't anything in there about the election being stolen. That is from his attorney. In the interview, he avoided detailing his arguments. He said that stressed that Trump had plenty of precedents to side with. Quote, "There are statutes that deal with incitement to riot, and it's not even close to that the president engaged in what would be considered criminal conduct. There's a test called the Brandenburg test set down by the Supreme Court. I analyzed that at length. That isn't even close to being met. I don't believe there's a chance in the world they're going to be able to demonstrate he committed those crimes or even anything approaching them. The president deplores the violence at the Capitol. The people should be punished aggressively, as I would have done if I was the DA and they did it at the Montgomery County Courthouse. But just because somebody gave a speech and people got excited, it doesn't mean it's the speech maker's fault. It's the people who got excited and did what they know is wrong," which I totally agree with, which is why I don't think this is going to go anywhere.